I realised by then that it was not simply dust, but radioactive dust. I tried protecting my camera from the dust. It was optical equipment. It was a very dry May. I don't know how much dust our crew swallowed. After a week, my lymph nodes had swelled.
I keep saying the wrong things to you, not the words I want. I'm not supposed to shout after my stroke or weep. That's why the words are wrong. But I'll tell you something, no one knows this. When I would not give them my daughter, our daughter, they brought me a wooden box. She's in there, they said.
Bulldozers, drivers were reading a newspaper, Pravda, with a headline in inch-high letters. The country will not abandon those in need. I tried very hard to make the headline readable. And I had another stroke of luck. I caught a stork landing in a field, a symbol. No matter what catastrophe befalls us, we will win. Life goes on.
Why are you creating hysteria, Professor? Are you the only one concerned about the Belarusian people?
You could find ways of acting without announcements, without panic. Just add
But the dogs lived on, waiting for their masters to return. They were shot. A man with a rifle was shooting at dogs with children nearby. A normal man. I recognised him and went over. What are you doing? He calmly took a paper out of his pocket. Orders from the city council to shoot stray dogs.
Don't bother me. I have this paper.
The smell of blood works on a primitive level. It is something animal.
You will say that you are only following orders, and that you knew nothing about radiation. But I'm a physicist, and I have an idea of the consequences. In case of a threat of a nuclear accident, instructions recommend preventative iodine treatment. A threat, and here it is. 30 units an hour.
You were warned, Professor. I tried, but Moscow has something in mind.
There. Tell me, soldier, are you staying in Chernobyl?
Where are your parents?
Please, soldier, find Anna Sushko for us. She used to live here in our village. Her name is Anna Sushko. I will describe her to you, and you find her. She lived alone. No one knows how old she is. During the resettlement, she was taken away in an ambulance in an unknown direction. She never learned to read or write, so we have no letters from her. The solitary and the sick were placed in asylums, hidden away, but no one knows the address. She is an innocent soul suffering in an alien world.
I can try.
Katia. My name is Katia.
I can try. I can't promise.
There's something else to add to her description. I forgot. When something hurts, she sings a song, without words.
And as soon as the dogs hear the first shot, they run into the woods. Cats are clever, and it's easier for them to hide. You go into a house, a cat shoots out between your legs, and you chase it with a rifle. Not pleasant.
Thousands died in the Battle of Kursk in World War II. That's comprehensible. But here, only 7 firemen died in the first 2 days. And a little while later, a few more people. And then, it was too abstract. Nothing, eternity, in a few generations. Eternity is not a concept for daily life. Rumours spread. 3-headed nightingales. Chickens attacking foxes. Bald hedgehogs.
I'll give you beds. I feel sorry for your son. Another woman pulled her away. Are you crazy? They're contagious.
A ball rolls down the street. Where are you going, ball? I'm not a ball. I'm a hedgehog from Chernobyl.
When they first told us we had radiation, we thought it was some kind of disease and that whoever got it would die right away. No, they said.
It's something that lies on the ground and gets inside it. But you can't see it. An animal maybe can see and hear it. Not a human.
That's not true. I saw it. That cesium lay around in my garden until the rain wet it. It was inky coloured. It lay there and glistened in pieces. I came back from the collective farm and went into my own garden.
Here we are all from Chernobyl. We don't scare one another. We all have the same memories. Anywhere else, we would be strangers. You want to be like everyone else, but you no longer can. You may not.
I had a boyfriend, an artist. We wanted to get married too. Everything was fine until he pumped me about the colour of the fire at the reactor. Whether I had seen the cats and dogs shot and left in the street.
We always lived on our potatoes. Now they told us forbidden. It was like a horrible joke.
Spring came, and the leaves came as usual. Year after year, green ones. The apple trees blossomed, white. And then we ran to the river to ask the fishermen if the fish still had heads and tails.
And after all those years, I sometimes go into the zone. A wild boar will leap out of an abandoned, ruined house.
No book has explained it to me.
After Chernobyl, all that's left is the mythology about Chernobyl. Newspapers and magazines compete to see who can write the scariest pieces.
I saw an apple tree in bloom and started filming it. The bees were buzzing, the flowers were wedding white. People were working, flowers blooming, a symbol. I had the camera in my hands. I should have been filming, but there was something wrong. The exposure was right, the picture was ready, and something was off. And I suddenly understood. I didn't smell anything.
Suddenly the village stores were full of things that were in short supply before. I heard a party secretary give a speech. We will create paradise for you here. To stay on and work. We will pile on the sausages and buckwheat. You will have everything that is found in the best special stores.
I don't think there ever was a Chernobyl. I think they made it up.
Geiger counters were on sale for a month and then vanished. Can't write about that.
I landed in a wild world there, a combination of the end of the world and the Stone Age, and all of my nerves were raw, exposed.
We lived in tents, 20 kilometres from the site.
They called us partisans. That is, people like me who were called up for military reserve training. Many had higher or technical education, and I am a history teacher.
The military knew about it ahead of time, but it was all top secret.
On the one hand, we had no freedom, like prison camp inmates, and on the other hand, there was fear. I didn't feel fear. I felt as if I were observing everything that was happening to me.
An old woman stopped me near a police post. Take a look at my house when you're there.
And the other I put on the corner for her. She has no name, no nothing.
When I came back from Afghanistan, I knew that I would live. But with Chernobyl, it's all backwards. I'd be killed when I got back.
Children from Chernobyl have an unknown liquid instead of blood. There are scientists who say that apes grew so intelligent because they lived in areas of high radiation.
That day, he saw Christ fall. He was carrying the cross, fall and scream. The man saw all of that, but his tooth hurt, and he couldn't follow and be a witness.
My daughter, she is not like everyone else. And when she grows up, she's going to ask me, why am I like this? When she was born, it wasn't a baby, but a living sac, closed in on all sides without a single crack. Only the eyes were open. The medical chart read female, born with multiple complex pathology, aplasia of the anus, aplasia of the vagina, aplasia of the left kidney. In ordinary language, it means no pee-pee, no poo-poo, and only one kidney. My daughter sings and dances and recites poetry by heart.
And asked about the holiday homes on the horizon. Be careful of those, a local told me. They bought the wood from Chernobyl. I remember in fragments, it was a very dry May. Where there had been dusty roads, they were suddenly laying tarmac.
Whose custom it is, not everyone does this. But we lay out the deceased on a door of the house. He lies there until the coffin is brought. I sat up next to my father all night while he lay on that door. The house was open all night. And that door is also covered with hatch marks, measuring 9.
A candle is lit from the Hiroshima Peace flame. This physical act creates a symbolic bridge of peace across the world and signifies peace as a real intent. We are relighting the flame tonight in that same spirit of peaceful intent. And we ask, after we have lit this flame, and we think of all the people at Chernobyl, that you take up your own flame and bring it over to the symbol behind you. Thank you.
We'd like to go back and take some more candles because there's about 500 candles that we need to place in this.
Good, thank you. Yeah, isn't it just?
Yeah, we did.
And trying to do that is very difficult.
What, I'm doing my job.